All right, I'll see you later. Have a wonderful afternoon, all.
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow.
Yep. Badass biker with a nice little hand sack. He said sack. Hello, folks. Mike Haley 7 with another tale of woe. Don't you love the tale of the woe? Let's go back now to 1988. I lost my job because I crashed the boss's car on a bunch of wet leaves going down a hill. Got fired for that. And my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, friend, whatever, she ended up doing my old job. So here I am, lose my job, lose my girlfriend, quote unquote. I fell for a get-rich-quick scheme called Herbalife pyramid scheme. So I was feeling like a double dumbass for that. I slowly picked myself up, dusted myself off, and got on with life. Came to an understanding with my ex-girlfriend, who was just my friend. Decided to go back to Paris a couple of years later in 1990. Fell in love with this beautiful, stunning, intelligent, vivacious Italian girl. It was the most romantic experience of my life. Paris, August, speaking French. She didn't speak English. I don't speak Italian. And we just were madly, madly in love. Somehow we decided to try to stay together, even though it was a long-distance relationship. She came in December that year. We took a trip to Quebec. Had a wonderful time. We decided we'd still try to stay together, even though we were far apart. She came again in May of '91, and I said, why don't you go to the same college as me? I'm going to go to college in England. Why don't you get accepted there too? And she thought, well, I'll never do that. I'm not good enough in English. I said, I'll teach you. So while she was living with me, she went to school in the daytime while I was working. I had three jobs, three jobs. And she studied English, and in the evenings we spoke English and French, and I helped her to get into the college that I was going to in England. And then when we got to England, things started going bad. She started pushing me away, being cold toward me. She said I was suffocating her. Just got kind of mean and cruel, and then we ended up breaking up because she cheated on me. But it was a small campus, you see. So first of all, I was devastated that she broke up with me. Second, she turned into a person I couldn't even recognize. From this sweet, young, innocent, beautiful, vivacious person to this cruel, hard, drinking, smoking, seducing every other dude on campus at the little local pub where everybody went. Fire drill would happen at night, and she'd come out pulling her pants up with a different guy. I mean, it was a friggin' nightmare. And I was stuck on that campus until the end of the semester, from October 31st until December 15th or so. I was just a friggin' nightmare. I went off the deep end over that one. I almost killed myself. A friend of mine actually stopped me, pulled me back from a window I was going to jump out of. It was bad. It was about as bad could be. I'd be walking down the hallway on campus, and these guys, I'd hear them around the corner that didn't know I was there talking about her, and they'd be saying like, "Oh, have you fucked so?" Pardon my French, but have you fucked so and so yet? And I'd say, "Yeah, man. You too? Yeah, man. Did she do this to you?" Like, "Yeah, that was amazing." I'm thinking, I taught her how to do that stuff, and now these dudes are comparing notes on her. It was just, the worst. The absolute worst. Jaded me for years after. I knew I would never love like that again. You can't put yourself out there like that ever again. It's not because you won't, it's because your body just physically can't support it. That was the most passionate, powerful love I ever experienced, and it almost killed me. Literally almost killed me. And the funny thing is, my girlfriend from before, the one from Paris, I went to Paris that year in the midst of this horribleness in the middle of November that year, 91. My ex-girlfriend was living in Paris going to school, and I stayed at her and her dad's place for a weekend and cried and sobbed, and my ex-girlfriend was there for me. It was wonderful. That's really solidified our friendship. She's like a sister to me now. And I went to this river called the Seine in Paris to return a little stone I had picked up there, because that was the first place that me and the Italian kissed. And my ex-girlfriend from, the Parisian, she watched from behind a little book selling stand across the river. She gave me my privacy, but she was watching the whole time to make sure I didn't jump in. She thought I was going to jump in the river. A legitimate concern at that time. Yeah, that was the second great heartbreak of my life. It was worse than the first, because instead of having one night of having to listen to the person you love having sex with somebody else in the tent next to you, how about 2 months of that kind of shit? And no escape, because you're on a small campus, isolated, you got no money, you can't get out of there. You don't even have enough money to take a taxi. That was rough. Happy ending to that, though. The Italian ex-girlfriend and I, we made up. We never got together again, but we made up, and we're still friends to this very day. Come to find out, she suffered from clinical depression. And the reason that she broke up with me back at that time was because she was mad that I couldn't make her feel good anymore. The depression took over, and she was mad at me because I couldn't make the depression stay away. She didn't know it at the time that it was depression. She's apologized several times since. I forgave her long ago. She's now living in London, and she is a human rights advocate. Got her PhD. She learned English in 1 summer. That's how smart this woman is. She speaks like 4 languages now. She writes books. She's amazing. So those things really hurt, of course, but I survived. I moved on. I don't know if things are meant to happen the way they're supposed to happen. I don't know about that kind of stuff. Things happen for a reason. That's what Harley Man said. I don't know about that, but I do know this. You can survive it. You definitely can survive it. It sucks. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. All right, this is my Kaylee 7. Boo-hoo. I'll talk to you later.